We hope everybody is doing well and is safe during these COVID times, that everybody's healthy. We're having our monthly webinar, which we're keeping now. So it was supposed to be in person, but because of COVID, we have been doing it online, virtual. We hope soon we're going to be able to go back in person. This is a traditional event of the Florida Engineering Society. We try to do it monthly or bi-monthly, depending on the times. Just if you could please, everybody mute your microphone. I think everybody muted. I don't hear any background noise, so that's good. And towards the end, we're going to have a question and answer session. The idea is that everybody send the questions to a chat, to the chat.
As I said,
hello. Somebody unmuted the microphone. Thank you. So the idea is to turn it on only when you are going to speak. Thank you. So this is a technical presentation that is going to be very informative. We have today Maria Perdomo, PE, is our speaker for today. Maria is the program manager for the Miami-Dade County Department of Transportation Public Works. And thank you, Maria, for being with us today. Before anything else, I would like to thank our annual sponsors. With your support, your support allows us to continue with the FES program and the mission during these unprecedented times. We welcome today everybody that joined, the people that always join us, and any new members, anybody from the academic community, and we hope you enjoy this event and get a good idea of the upcoming program for Miami-Dade County. So moving on. So our agenda for today is very simple. We have, I'm gonna do a recap of what we have done in the chapter so far. It's gonna be short, and then we're gonna have Maria take over, and have describe the program, the upcoming program of Miami-Dade County. And then at the end, we're gonna have some closing remarks. We're gonna have a question and answer session and some closing remarks. So the first of the agenda would be the activities to date. On September, we had an event that was basically with high school students describing what engineering is about. It was a success, and that was September. Breakdown by the pros. We generally do it every year, trying to describe young engineers what engineering is about. On October, we had Carolina Maran. She's the South Florida Water Management District Resilience Officer, and she, was a very good presentation about water management, the district, and resiliency, and all the measures that are taken for resiliency and sea level rise. On December 3rd, we had Dr. Elena Solo-Gabriel talk about COVID in wastewater. It's a very, very good topic, very, very current topic. And it was very informative about the research that is going on COVID. We also were active, with the state. We supported a letter to support to support the Central and Southern Florida flood resiliency study. Was a letter to the Florida representatives in Congress to support that study that is so important for planning for resiliency and for sea level rise, which are very active topics in our area. Okay, moving on. We have now future activities that we're gonna have. We're gonna have a very busy February. In February, we have 3 events. The first one is the Future Cities competition for middle schoolers. The idea is to have the Future Cities, the middle schoolers design a lunar city and provide examples of how the city will use the moon resources to keep the citizens safe and healthy. On this event, we are looking for judges and for volunteers. You can contact Dave Clark if you're interested. This event is gonna take place on February 13th. The other event that is coming up in February is Math Counts. Future Cities and Math Counts are going to be virtual this year. So Math Counts is gonna take place on February 5th and 6th. It's going to be virtual. It's a traditional event for FES. The contact for this event is Lin Lee. He has indicated that he already has all the volunteers, so we should be good on that one. Next, we're planning also for an event of February, on February 27th. This is the award ceremony. Supposed to be the gala and award ceremony. This time around is going to be virtual as well. So just keep on the look for the invitation. Be on the look for the invitation because it's coming soon. Then we have, after that, we go into March. We have done this event that is basically a career fair with the purpose of bringing together companies and candidates, and which at this time is going to be instrumental for planning for recovery, for COVID recovery. Then we also have the National Academy Foundation for high school students. This event should happen around April, and we will be letting you know how it's going to happen. It's going to be virtual. Now that things are starting to change, we may start trying to go back to in-person events at the right time. Okay, hold on. The other event is the golf tournament, which is basically for scholarships for high school students. It's always a success. We would like to have it, of course, in person. We're thinking about May or possibly, moving it to June. The idea is to have it this year. Last year we couldn't have it, but this year the idea is to have it once COVID allows us to get in person again. Okay, so kind of summarizing what we have in February, we have Future Cities competition, a gala and award ceremony, and Math Counts. So it's a very busy month of February, and we're counting on all of you to connect and to be with us. With this, that's kind of a recap of what we have done and what is coming. I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Maria Perdomo. Maria Perdomo is currently the work program manager for Miami-Dade County Department of Transportation and Public Works. She is a professional engineer with 15 years of transportation engineering experience in the field of PDNES design, project management, and work program management, who graduated from University of Florida. She previously worked for the Florida Department of Transportation and has worked in the private sector where she focused on design build, public-private partnerships, P3s, design build finance, and reconstruction projects. Okay, just to reiterate during the presentation, if you can send your questions via chat, and after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session. Maria, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today. So I guess right now you're gonna share your screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Working on sharing the screen. Give me 1 second. As soon as it goes. Let me see. Let me try that again. Do you see my screen, Juan? Share your screen. Juan?
I was muted, sorry.
Okay, I'm like.
I cannot see it. Yeah, now it's starting.
Now you see it.
No.
Okay, excellent.
No, I'm not seeing it.
You don't. Give it a second.
Okay.
Did it work? No.
No.
Let me see. Let me give it another shot. It says your presentation ended. Someone else has started sharing. So let me try that again.
Yes.
Okay.
Working. It's working now.
It's working now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Great. Give me 1 second. Let me put it on presentation mode. And then we could start. If it would let me. Oh. Come on. You know, I think there would be experts by now, but it's not. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You see it now?
Good. Good.
Excellent. All right. So I just want to say thank you for having me. Today, I look forward to sharing with the industry some of the plans that we have in the next, it's in the next 5 years, but basically I'm really going to focus on the next 12 months to 18 months on our capital projects. I'm kind of going to go over what you could look forward to through the agency, and also like how to also get some of this information that sometimes is not that transparent or available to our industry. So
Maria?
I want to say thank you. Yes?
Maria, you turn off the camera. That's...
Yeah, it's
okay.
fine.
Okay.
So thank you though. So the Department of Transportation and Public Works is one of the departments underneath Miami-Dade County. We have several services that we provide. One of them is the engineering services. And engineering services is not only, it's both in transit and in public works. We also have traffic services, which basically focus on a lot of in the safety project, Vision Zero, ATMS, traffic control devices, intersection improvements, and let me go back to the engineering services. Those are focused on both transit and public works. Public work is majority of the projects are the highway projects, the infrastructure projects, drainage, and also intersection improvements, bike projects, and so forth. We also provide services to the Metro Bus, Metro Movers, and Metro Rail. We do the operations and maintenance of those facilities, and there's other services that we provide. But today, like I said, I'm going to focus on the capital projects for the intent of the audience. So one of the places that you will be able to find a lot of our projects is at the 2021 adopted budget. So every single year we provide a proposed budget to the Board of County Commissioners, and that happens in September. It gets adopted, and that's what happens. That's what we're going to commit, what we've committed to doing in the next year. When you click on this link, which will be available to everyone later, you'll find kind of like an umbrella or like an overview of that budget. Sometimes it doesn't provide the details of the projects in regards to like the project limits and specific project information. It only does that for mega projects, and I'll give kind of some examples. So when you go through this document, you kind of know how to read it, because it's not the most friendly one. So let me go to the first page of projects. This is great information if you're really wanting to read it. But for example, the first one here is the Advanced Traffic Management System. This is a specific project that's countywide. And when you guys look at the 5-year work program, you see what the money is located at, right? But then when you look at projects like this one, arterial roads, it doesn't have a project site or a project location specific to it, but it does let you know where the funding is at and what we have planned in the next 5 years. So as you see, majority of our plan is at the front end of our project, of our 5-year work program, and those are the projects that right now are either going to start design or have already are going to be starting in construction. Okay, there's other projects like Aventura Station. That's a project specific. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's a few of them, but you have, like, for example, the bridge rehabilitation. This one are where you'll find all the bridge projects. Right now, we got an ordinance last year that approved us to be able to use roadway impact fees to use for rehabilitation and replacement of bridges.
Maria, I think we lost your screen.
No, that's not good. Let me go back, because then I'm just, let me see. Did you lose it from the beginning?
No, I think the last slide.
The last slide. Okay, good, because not. All right. So yeah. These, did you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay, because that's where I was talking about. So these are the rehab projects, and you'll be able to see what the adopted budget is. In the adopted budget, our agency has about I want to say in roadway impact fees about $1 billion that we have planned to spend in the next year. I mean, not next year, in the next 5 years. Correction, next 5 years. And that doesn't even include our smart plan projects, which are mega projects, and those are majority of them are funded by PTP, which is your half penny tax. It's a different source of funding that we use here at the county. So you have all these projects, some of them operations, some of them are capital. Like I said, it's not the easiest, and again, I understand it's not the easiest way to see what projects are coming up, but this is kind of just giving you like an umbrella, an overall understanding of where the money's going, where is the department allocating those funds in the next 5 years. So I'm going to go skip back into the presentation. Let me know if you see it. Let me see. So I could go more into details of what the next 5 years look like. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, we can see.
All right. So other relative sites that you could go to are the 5-year implementation plan from the PTP, which is the People's Transportation Plan. In there, they are specific about the projects, and you could find information of the scope of the project, the funding of the project, who you could contact. There's a lot of good information on there, but that is more on the transit side. And we do have like a number of capital highway projects, but it's not most of them. And then you could also find obviously information at the TPO 2045 long range transportation plan. So to get specific on actual projects, right? We have our mechanism to be able to fund a lot of these projects is, or not fund, but use consulting services, is to do two programs. We have the professional service agreements, right? And we also have the EDPs. So with the professional service agreement, this past year, we've advertised about $40 million worth of professional service, and that included bridge, traffic, and highway. I think all of them right now are under the cone of silence, so I can't speak on those. But we do have two other projects or PSAs that are going to be advertised in the near future. The first one is a Safe Routes to School PSA, and then we have the federal PSA. So the first one, which is the Safe Route to School, is being led by Darlene Fernandez, her team. She's a traffic division assistant director. And on that one, we are gonna award it to up to 5 consultants. Each contract's about $1.5 million. And what we're going to be looking for in that one is experience with federal guidelines, safe routes to schools. So if you're looking into going after that project, is something that you might want to present in your letters. We also have the federal PSAs. These are going to be geared towards also federal contracts. So we're going to be looking for that experience with guidelines from the federal government and even FDOT, because that's basically how we're getting those funds from. And those are going to be like bike projects, safety projects, complete streets projects, Vision Zero projects. So under the federal PSAs, that's what the work that we're going to be looking for. These are all going to be task work order driven. So we don't have specific locations yet. So I would advise you or ask you to, if you want specific, I guess, questions if you have for the ADs, contact them. I have their contact information towards the end of the presentation. The other way that we look at or that we use consulting services is through the EDP. I've put here a link. If your firm is not under the EDP, I suggest you reach out to them and see if you could be part of that program. It's basically a pool of consultants that we also use for their services, whether it's majority is for minor projects. I think the threshold for an EDP is 400,000. It cannot be more than 4 million in construction. So it's for smaller projects. We use them for surveys, right-of-way map, small design projects, and it comes from a pool. So it's kind of like a rotation. And that's very convenient to us because sometimes we need, the quick mechanism for these projects that just come up. So there are several projects that we have that are upcoming. There are design build projects. The design build process for the county is very similar to the design build process from the state. Okay. We're going to be doing a short listing. We're going to be doing a second phase, which includes alternative technical concepts, bid questions and answers, and submittal of proposals. And then we have the third phase for these design builds, which are technical scores and a presentation of your proposal. Okay. We have in the beginning, the first one's the Northwest 84th Avenue and Northwest 58th Street to Northwest 94th Street. This one's a small design build. It's basically just winding to the outside, and that one's going to be advertised next month. We also have one that's coming up now in March, which is the Northwest 151st Street one. This is a special one because it's going to be a design build, but it's going to have two components. One of them is a full set of plans, and the other one's a 30% set of plans with a an RFP or a design criteria package, as we call it here. So that one's going to have a combination. It's going to be 2 projects put in one, but it's going to be 1 bid with 1 cost and 1 time. Okay. We have several other projects I'm going to go over in more details. And then we have one here that's the Martin Luther King transit-oriented development. We have the TLDs are led by developers, and we're basically is for the replacement of the existing parking garage and using the land for a mixed use of TLD, right? So we give the developer about a 90-year lease to fix and use the existing and develop a transit-oriented development. Our expectations is to obviously increase ridership, revenue, and also station improvements and other things. So I'm going to go over some of these other projects in detail because they're pretty interesting. Here you'll see the advertisement date, and I put a season. And the reason why I put a season versus a specific date is because sometimes we are delayed by a month or month and a half just due to our process. So we should be within those few months. If we're not and you don't see them out, you could either contact me or you could contact the person I've highlighted here. These are either the project managers or the assistant directors that these projects fall under. So the first one is the Dadeland South Intermodal Station. This project is, like I said, a design build. The estimated construction cost or the design build cost is about $34 million. We are going to be advertising that now. We're currently working on the RFP, but basically the intent of this project is to construct new ramps along the existing side to provide level boarding areas on the Dadeland South Metro Rail Station up to a new bus station area at the upper platform level of the Metro Rail station. So the scope is going to include lighting, security cameras, electric signage, additional elevators. It's a pretty interesting project, and it's going to be able to provide our folks that level boarding between the Metro Rail and the buses. The next project that we have is the Underline Phase 3. So the Underline Phase 1 is almost completed. So if you come down to downtown Miami, you'll see in the Brickell area that first phase is about to finish, I think maybe in the next week or two. But if you're driving in the area, you'll see it. It looks very, very nice. And then you have the second phase. Right now, they've already been awarded the contract, but they're in the design phase of the project. So the third phase, which is the biggest part or the longest section of the 3 phases, is Phase 3. This one is basically from Southwest 19th Avenue to Dadeland South. It's approximately 7 miles long. The estimate for this project is $80 million, and we will be advertising it now this spring. It's going to be similar to the ones with Phase 1 and Phase 2. We're going to be proposing amenities. It's going to be a linear pedestrian bicycle facility with different types of amenities. And then it's going to be right underneath our Metro Rail Guideway. So this is another very interesting project, different than our roadway projects, but it's a continuation for our Underline. And you could contact Irene for this one. There's another project that's coming up. We're working on the RFP right now. It's the countywide Mastom upgrades. We have a few, way too many remaining span wires in our county, and this project is going to identify locations we're going to be able to replace them with mast arms. The mass storm replacement is going to be throughout the county. It's not going to be in a specific section. So right now we're going through the exercise of identifying those locations and identifying whether we're going to be proposing county standards or DOT standards for the mass storm. That all depends on the right-of-way available in that area. That one, I do not know how much the cost estimate is yet because we're still in the review and the planning stages to identify the number of that we're going to be having to replace. But we do believe that that one should be finalized now this summer. For more information, contact Darlene, please. Next, we have the South Dayland Maintenance Facility. This is an estimated cost of $40 million. We are also working on the RFP, finalizing it hopefully this fall so we could get it advertised. This one is, as you see in the image, we're proposing a site development to basically accommodate over 200 electric bus fleets. We're also going to be building a maintenance building, an office building, and employee parking. These buses are the buses that are going to be used for the South Transit project that we have right now, and the South Corridor. And this project is one that we're also going to be looking to expedite because we do want to have the facility running at the same time that we open the South Transit facility, the BRT. The next mega project is the East-West Corridor Transit Project. This is a design build. Its estimated cost is about $200 to $250 million. We are going to be advertising this project late this year, early next year. You could contact Elia Nunez on this. So this project, we're going to be doing, going through the applications of the small starts process with the Federal Transit Administration, FTA. We've already started the RFP. We're going to start the RFP. We have not started yet in the next couple months. And we do have a local preferred alternative, which is the bus rapid transit BRT in the inside lanes of 836. As you guys have maybe driven through 836, you see the green paint. Well, this project is going to propose stations at different locations. We're going to be proposing stations at 107th, 97th, 84th, and the Palmetto, which is the one that you see here, which is the Southwest 7th Street facility. Some of the things that we're going to be looking at, including in this design build, are canopies for shelters, platform level boarding, information panels, air conditioned vestibules, lighting, and barrier walls to keep us safe, or keep the pedestrians safe from the 836 traffic. So look at this project. This one's the one that is it's going to be similar but a little bit different, right, than the BRT on the South Corridor Transitway. So those are the design builds that we have for the next, like I said, 12 to 18 months. We also have projects right now that have finalized design and are going into construction. And these are the ones that you see on this screen, starting with the first one, which is going to be advertised today, or has been advertised. It should have been advertised this morning, which is the bridge replacement 136. We have Venetian Causeway rehab. We have another bridge replacement, North Miami Avenue. Also a bridge replacement at Coco Plum Bridge at Southwest 42nd Avenue and Corway Waterway. We have a new pedestrian bridge that we're going to be building, which is the Snowden Bridge. That's south. It's by, I want to say it's by 170th. It's down by the Palmetto Bay area. We have a park and ride that we are doing updates on, which is the Southwest 112th Avenue. We have a new park and ride, which is the Panther Station. All of these are new projects that are going to go into construction. The design has been finalized, and we're working towards finalizing the design to put them out there. A little bit detail on, for example, the Coral Way, the Coco Plum Bridge. This is a replacement of the bridge. We're basically just replacing the one that you see on the left, which is the vehicular one, and then including a pedestrian path on the west end of that bridge. The one that's it's one of our major highway projects is the Northwest 25th Street from west of Northwest 117th Avenue to Northwest 87th Avenue. This one's a $72 million construction project. Right now, we should be finalizing the plans for this project. It's a conventional widening project, but it includes everything from drainage to lighting. It goes from a 4-lane to a 6-lane, and it has also had a lot of public outreach. So this is one of our biggest projects for from our highway division. In addition to that, we also have smaller projects. We have their drainage projects. As you see, they're the first 5 of them. 5, yes, first 5 are drainage construction projects. Our drainage designs for these projects are done in-house by our in-house team, but they are outsourced for construction, and that's when you see these different ones. You have some that are site-specific, which are the MCC 7360s, and then you have the MC 7040, which are multiple sites, meaning you have the drainage improvements could go throughout the county. What we try to do with these contracts is that we try to consolidate them to certain areas, whether it's the north or the south side of the county, just to make it easier for the contractor. And then we also have here at the county what we call intersection improvement and also resurfacing multi-sites. So for the intersection improvements, the construction projects do have plans, and the plans are provided to us by our traffic division. And those are the ones that you saw in the beginning where we have those PSAs. But then for the resurfacing sites, we do not need plans for those. The county is able to resurface in kind where resurfacing needs to be taking place without plans. It's not like triple R's or an FDOT. These are just whatever asphalt design you take out, it's the one that you're putting back in. And these are multiple throughout the year. And then finally, we have 2 CEIs right now that are under. One of them got approved by our board last month or this month. We have another one that's under the cone of silence in transit. So right now for the next month, for the next year, all we have is the CEI for the underline, which is about a $6.3 million CEI. And you could contact Irene for those projects. Contact information. Who do you talk to about these projects? When it comes to anything highway related, please coordinate or contact Miguel Soria. He's very helpful. He'll be able to guide you or give you kind of a summary of where his projects or what the scopes are. For specific drainage, you could contact Alex Barrio, but like I said, he has his in-house staff. But if you're interested in the construction projects and the scope of those projects, I advise for you to contact Alex. Traffic division is Darlene Fernandez. Those are the safety projects. Those are the traffic control projects, intersection improvements. Darlene is also really helpful. Contact her for any questions regarding any specific project or professional services that you're going to go after. The transit division, you can contact Elia Nunes. She's responsible for all the capital, so anything that has to do with the BERTS projects, SMART projects, the park and rides, Elia is the person to go to. Underline, you can contact Irene. She's the PM, and she's done the phase 1, phase 2, and now she's leading the phase 3 RFP. And then obviously anything work program related, anything, if you have any questions regarding the program, what's coming up in the next, 12 months, 18 months, I kind of keep a log of the information as it comes. So you could always contact me. I usually update this information once every 3 months, every 4 months, with the new dates. Any new projects are coming up, you could reach out to me. I am more than willing to help and obviously shine some light on what's coming up. A lot of these projects are advertised in BidSync. Not all of them used to be advertised in BidSync. Now they should be. So going to BidSync, you'll be able to find not only construction projects, but also design builds and the conventional designs. Now, because it's advertised in BidSync does not mean that the process is through BidSync. So I encourage you to read it and make sure that, you know, the way that you're supposed to submit the proposals or the information is whether it's through BidSync or a different portal. So just make sure that, you know, you have, I guess, the right direction of where to go. It should be clear on them. We are working on a new system where that's not going to happen. It's going to be a one-stop shop for everything, and the information is all in one place versus different locations, which it seems to be the case that we're trying to avoid. This is our slide. So if you want more information, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And that is my final page. So thank you for listening, and hopefully you have questions that I could answer this afternoon.
Maria, thank you. Maria, thank you so much for. There's an echo.
Yes.
Tesh, can you take over while I do this?
Sure. So thanks a lot, Maria. This was really wonderful. Is there echo?
No, I hear you fine.
Okay. So no, really appreciate you doing this. I think that was a lot of information for all of us, and we all appreciate that. Before we get into the questions, oh, there is an echo going on, is it?
I think it's over.
So okay. So before we get into the questions, one thing, the reason I just want to go over the reason why we wanted this session, and we wanted to provide this session to our members and everybody, you know, from the point of COVID. And I wanted to see, understand with the work programs, with the DOT, with the state, with county, what impact it has. And the question I have for you is, our members would be very much interested in knowing if the work program for Miami-Dade County, is the work program you presented, is it getting affected by COVID, or is there any impact because of that, or it is not? Can you elaborate on that aspect?
Of course. So with COVID, there has been minor impacts to our work program. FDOT did have an impact to theirs due to their revenue, which is by gas tax. So some of the projects that we had in mind for Vision Zero, Complete Streets, those have been not delayed, but they were supposed to be programmed for next year, and now they got pushed out 2 or 3 years. You hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So then I wasn't sure. So then when it comes to our work program, we have several funding types, right? But our 2 major funding types is roadway impact fees and PTP. When it comes to those, the impact has been minor, just because throughout COVID, there has not been a stop in construction. In the contrary, things picked up more. So we haven't gotten hit yet, but obviously economics, we don't know what's going to happen in the next year. If there is going to be a slowdown, that's very difficult to predict. But there are some RIF, we have them by districts that did receive additional revenue that was that we thought was coming in projected, and there's some that received a little bit less, but nothing to at this point to remove projects or cancel projects because of the revenue that we've received. Does that answer?
That's wonderful. Yes, yes, definitely, and that is wonderful to hear. I'm sure everyone listening to this would be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Other thing, we have a question here that if we can get a PDF for this presentation. And
Absolutely.
okay, so and also for everybody's information, we are recording this session. So, and my understanding is we'll be uploading this recording to our website, so everybody will have access to that as well. And we'll be sharing the PDF too once we have it from Maria. Okay, we have a question from Pedro. The question is, should new federal funding with next stimulus is made available, do you have a list of priority projects to send to the feds? Is the question clear?
We do. Yes.
Mhm.
We do. We provided a list to the feds the last stimulus.
Mhm.
That list is going to most likely be also resubmitted to this one. So we do have a list of ongoing projects that we would love to have federal contribution. And one of the things that we're doing just to look ahead are these federal PSAs. We also have a CEI that's federal, that's under the cone of silence right now. So we are being proactive in the sense that as projects come in and that funding comes in from the federal government, we have the mechanism to execute those projects.
Okay. I think that was clear. So I don't see any more questions, but I would highly encourage everyone that I'm sure everyone present here would be looking forward to working with you and the county. So if you have any questions, don't be shy. Feel free to ask. This is your moment. So let's see. Let's wait. Okay, we have one here. This is from Gus. The thing goes, the new legislator have prioritized transit. Other than what was presented, will there be any light rail or others?
So right now we have other projects that are being worked on. We have the Beach Corridor, which is a monorail, I believe. And that one is under the interim agreement right now. They're working on plans for the next phase. We also have the North Corridor, which is under the cone of silence, which that one we have different technologies as the RFPs is open to it. We have the ones I've presented to you. The other projects that are coming is we have the east-west, we have the northwest, which we're also working on an RFP on. And let me see, did I miss any? I don't think I missed anyone. But if you have specific questions of what's coming down the pipeline, I know that we are doing studies for TODs along the South Corridor. Our planning team with GIA is also looking at BERTs throughout the county. We're working with FDOT on the Kendall Corridor and also on the Flagler Corridor to see what alternative technologies we could put. I think that those two are leaning towards buses, but I would recommend that you contact Elia. She'll be able to provide you with specific project information.
Sure. And I think our members also interested in having your contact information. I think you did share it on your last, your last slide was your contact information, right?
Yes. In the third to the last slide, I put everybody's contact information, and I put what division they're in, so it's easy for you to see who you want to reach out to. But if you don't, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me. If I don't know the answer, I will guide you towards somebody else that does.
Okay. So
Maria,
Eric,
can you share the last slide again?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
So Eric, your hand is raised. I just want to confirm that was your question and it's getting answered, or is there anything else? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask if there's anything else.
Yes, I wasn't sure that I was going to get the presentation because I'm not a member of the FES, just a guest. But are you going to send it to all attendees of the meeting?
Yes, and the recording will be uploaded on our website, so you will be able to access that for sure. And I can share the email ID with now, or she's sharing the slide now, so you can see her email ID and any other you need information for.
And we encourage everybody attending to become a member. You know, we have a good program to support. We have another question, I think.
No, I have a quick question. So I just wanted to know, so you said we could contact the respective PMs, right, for any information about the project and the studies or the scoping reports and all those things which are done, right? We could contact them directly. Okay.
You're muted, Maria.
You're muted, yeah.
This never gets old. The information I provided you are the majority of them are assistant directors, except Alex and Irene, who are specific to those projects, right? Everybody else, if they will either give you the answer or be able to provide you with the answer, or they'll tell you, hey, contact this project manager. But they know specifically who's working on the project. I have more of an understanding who's responsible for those projects. So that's why I think it's best to go to the assistant directors. And when it comes to, if you guys want to contact me, like I said, I try to update this every 4 or 5 months. These are not dates set in stone. These are what we are, working very hard to get to. So if you have any questions or want updates on this, just contact me and I'll either tell you I have it in the next month, or here's the latest and greatest.
Okay, that was very helpful. Thank you. We have one more from David. The question is, how are these mega projects and CIP projects being coordinated with the SLR and road raising, harmonization, and utilities?
So say that again.
So the question is actually how are the mega projects and CIP projects being coordinated with SLR, the aspects of road raising, harmonization, and utilities? How are they going to be coordinated?
Sea-level rise.
So,
Sorry, go ahead.
Sea-level rise. Sea-level rise.
Okay, so when it comes to sea level rise, the county does its ordinance, and we're trying to comply with them. But I would encourage you to talk to the assistant directors. It's not always feasible. I know that there are projects like, well, one's under the cone of silence, I can't talk about it, but there are several projects that we are incorporating improvements, especially the ones that are close to the coastline. And then when it comes to utilities, we go through our utility coordination, just like we start at, I think it's when we start at 30% to reach out to the utility companies, and then start at getting those markups at 60, implementing them, and then taking them through. We're also working on having utility work schedules with the utility companies versus designing them, doing utility relocation, and then start construction. So there's a few shifts that are happening with our utility group, but for specific information, reach out to Miguel. He'll be able to help with that question.
Wonderful, thank you, and hope it answered David. So I think I don't see any more questions. So thank you for everything, Maria, and I'll revert it back to Juan to close this session.
Thank you for having us, for me.
Thank you, Maria and Tej, thank you so much. Maria, thank you. It was a great, this event has been a great success. We have 88 attendees I counted. Makes you wonder, it's even more than what we used to have in person, so something to think about. Of course, it doesn't replace the in-person contact. We are delighted to serve as the liaison between the county and the industry. A lot of interest in the program, in the public works program, and this serves as a vehicle for you to bring your message to all the industry, and the industry, of course, get ready for everything that is coming. It's like a win-win. We spoke about that during the preparation, and this is exactly what is happening in this event. So moving along, we have I put the slide again so that you mark your calendars on our great events of the month of February. And the other thing is, Maria, we as a sign of appreciation, you are going to receive a certificate. We're gonna make sure that you get it. We will deliver it to your office. Thank you so much for serving as a speaker today, and for such an informative session.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Okay, with this, I close this session, this event. Thank you, everybody that connected. It's great to have a great turnout and to be able to convey all the message and all the information about the work that is coming up and how, as engineers, we can participate. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next event. Thank you.